Mhm.
Okay, nice.
There was once a girl named Tippingy who lived with her stepmother. Her father was dead. The stepmother was selfish, and even though she lived in the girl's house, she did not like to share what she earned with the girl. Sorry, it's so dark in here. I need to turn the light on. One morning, the stepmother was cooking sweets to sell at the market. The fire under her pot went out. Chip and G was in school, so the stepmother had to go herself into the forest to find more firewood. She walked for a long time, but she did not find any wood. She continued walking. Then she came to a place where there was firewood everywhere, so she gathered it into a bundle. But it was too heavy. It was too heavy to carry anywhere. Uh, Wait a minute. Still, she did not want anyone else to have any of the firewood. So, standing in the middle of the forest, she cried out, "My friends, there is so much wood here, and at home I have no wood. Where can I find a person who will help me carry the firewood?" Suddenly, an old man appeared. "I will help you to carry the firewood, but then what will you give me?" I have very little, but I will find something to give you when we get to my house. So the old man carried the firewood for the stepmother. And when they got to the house, he said, "All right, I've carried this firewood for you. Now, what will you give me?" Oh, I'll give you a servant girl. I will give you my stepdaughter, Tiffany. Now, Tiffany was in the house, and when she heard her her name, she ran to the door and she listened. Tomorrow I will send my stepdaughter to the well at noon for water. Now she'll be wearing a red dress. Call her by her name, Tiffany, and she will come to you. And then you can take her. Ah, very well, said the man, and he went away. Tiffany ran to her friends. She ran to the houses of all the girls in her class, and she asked them to help her. She asked them to wear red dresses the next day. At noon the next day, the old man went to the well. He saw one little girl dressed in red. He saw a second little girl dressed in red. He saw a third girl in red. Which of you is Tiffany? The first little girl said, "I'm Tiffany." The second little girl said, "She's Tiffany." The third little girl said, "We're Tiffany too." Which of you is Tiffany? Then the little girls began to clap and jump up and down and shout, "I'm Tiffany, she's Tiffany, we're Tiffany too. I'm Tiffany, she's Tiffany, we're Tiffany too." The old man went to the woman. He said, "You tricked me." All the girls were dressed in red, and each one said that she was Tiffany. "But that's impossible," said the stepmother. Okay. Tomorrow she will wear a black dress, and then you will find her. The one wearing the black dress will be Tiffany. Call her and take her." But Tiffany heard what her stepmother was saying, and she ran and she begged all of her friends to come tomorrow wearing black dresses. When the old man went to the well the next day, he saw one little girl dressed in black. He saw a second little girl dressed in black. He saw a third little. Which of you is Tiffany? I'm Tippin' G. She's Tippin' G. We're Tippin' G too. Which of you is Tippin' G? He said he was getting kind of hot under the collar, and the girls joined hands and they skipped around and they sang, I'm Tippin' G, she's Tippin' G, we're Tippin' G too. Oh yeah, I'm Tippin' G, she's Tippin' G, we're Tippin' G too. The man was getting so angry. He went to the stepmother and he said, you promised me that you were only, and you're just giving me problems. You tell me Tippin' G and everyone here is called Tippin' G. Tippin' G, Tippin' G, Tippin' G, Tippin' G. If this happens a third time, I will come and I will take you for my servant. Oh, sir, look. Tomorrow she will be in red, completely in red. Call her and take her. Okay, all right. Then we're going to try this one more time. So, and again, of course, Tippin' G heard, and she ran and told her friends. At noon the next day, the old man arrived at the well. He saw little girls dressed in red. He looked all around and they all had, which one of you is Tippin' G? I'm Tippin' G. She's Tippin' G. We're Tippin' G too. Which of you is Tippin' G? The old man shouted, but the girls just clapped and jumped and they began to sing, hey, I'm Tippin' G. She's Tippin' G. We're Tippin' G too. The old man knew that he would never find Tippin' G. He went to the stepmother and he took her away. When Tippin' G returned home, her stepmother was gone. So she lived in her little house all by herself with all of her father's belongings, and she was happy. The end.
Very good.
Very good.
Good. I love that story. It's great.
You're familiar? Irma, you're familiar with it?
Yes, I actually know that one. I was like,
She got away from that old man.
Yeah.
y'all need to know how to escape, don't you?
That's why I got it.
Little girls,
Yeah, that's still on, but then when you come on, you don't have to have it.
What's Nzinga saying?
I don't know, but I don't think she's talking to us.
Oh, okay. Well, I like that story because in it can say if you're yourself, others will be like you and help you. You know, I'm Tiffany, you're Tiffany, everybody Tiffany, and that's how she got away, escaped, because
Yeah.
she's that kind of a person and stuck to who she really was, Fuji Chakalia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
For today, I would tell little
More like Umoja.
traveling groups.
Yeah, and Moja, yeah, they knew who she was, and they helped her by unifying with her. And sometimes we have to do that.
Yeah.
It's true. You know, I'd like to. That's an interesting story. I'm wondering why she would be glad her mother's not there.
She a mean old stepmother.
This was her stepmother.
Oh, she was the wicked stepmother.
Yes.
Yeah.
The home really belonged to Tippin' G. It
Oh,
was her father's home. Yeah.
okay.
Keep up.
Shut up. Leave me alone. Well, I'd like to ask because Venora just so you know, hold on, wait a minute. I gotta mute everybody or you're gonna hear that awful feedback. Is that okay? Can you hear me now? We have to, or you're gonna hear that delay. All right. And I need to try to see Venora because Venora and Lovey came early. They were here like at 7 on the dot. I don't want to hear it, Irma. I see your mouth moving, but no excuse. No excuse. But I wanted to ask Venora, did she want to share with us tonight?
Good evening. I'm just here just to hear for myself because I needed to hear some more storytelling. I didn't come on to tell stories, but I'm enjoying what I'm hearing. And I just love that story. I love that. I'm Tiffany, you Tiffany, you Tiffany. I love that. I really, really love it. And so I'm just, if you don't mind, I'll just sit back and listen. I don't like that face you have. That face you're making.
Can you see me? You can't
yes,
see me. You can't see me.
Yes, I can. I do.
Well, you know, if y'all all know that I love to brag on my friends, and Venora is the executive director of the National Association of Black Storytellers, and I just didn't want to make it feel like, you know, I had to invite you. I had to extend an invitation to you because you were here, and you know, all storytellers like to tell stories. So I didn't want to take anything for granted or assume that you weren't interested or you didn't want to share with us.
This is a coaching activity, and I'm just here to share. And I'm not here to tell stories. And anyway, I'm not like that.
Yeah, no, but we need to hear from each other. It's not just Coatsy. We're inviting all our friends from across the world to come and share with us. It's not right, my Coatsy sisters.
Okay. Well, listen. There was a girl whose name was Evelyn. And Evelyn had been an only child for about 6 years. And then she had a baby sister. Now, Evelyn was so excited, she wanted to hold the baby. But her mother said not to pick the baby up. And every time she got close to the baby, her mother said, "Don't pick the baby up." Well, one day while the mother was in another room, Evelyn walked over to the baby, and the baby was just smiling and cuckoo-hoo-hooing. And Evelyn decided she could pick this baby up, and did. Well, all was fine, and she was excited about her baby sister until baby sister started moving. Baby sister moved, and she moved and moved, and finally she hit the floor. Well, as soon as she hit the floor, she started, "Wah!" And the mother came in. Well, when the mother came in, she was not a happy camper. But Evelyn knew what was going to happen, so Evelyn started running. She ran out of the house, across the street, crossed the ditch to the neighbor's house, who was closing the door. She went through their house, opened the back door, and ran up, and her mother was right behind her. Well, Evelyn ran and ran and ran. The mother was running right behind her until she made a U-turn, and when she came along, there was baby sis. Well, she wasn't really baby sis, she was called Big Sis, and Big Sis said, "Miss Anna, you want me to catch her?" And Miss Anna said, "Yes." But when she caught her, Evelyn couldn't get her loose. Now, Evelyn knew what was going to happen to her because, number one, she didn't listen, she disobeyed. And what happened was her mom had put the baby safe, and now Evelyn was outside. She was running from her mama, and she didn't know the rule that you never run from your mother. When her mother caught her, it was nothing nice. She whipped her, and not to just whip her, there were children standing on the street watching her as she was getting this whipping. From the scenic highway to the railroad track, everybody was standing looking at her. And of course, the old man across the street, Mr. Miles, came over and said, "Sis, don't whip her out here like this. Take her inside." And while the mother was talking to Mr. Miles, Evelyn ran into the house and locked the door. Well, when you're 6, you don't realize that there's another door your mom can come in. The mom came to the other door, and I need not tell you, it was nothing nice. Let's just say that to this day, Evelyn has a mark on her that she will never forget that story. And in case you're wondering, who is Evelyn? Well, Evelyn's first name is Venora. I am that Venora.
Wow. Wow.
That was a great story. That was great.
And I love Wanda too. Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. Real
Your hiney hurts every time you think about it, don't it? Ooh, I remember that.
Mhm. Mhm.
There you have it.
I used to get whipping with an ironing cord,
Mm.
and it was not cute. And me and my girlfriend used to bear the whelps on our thighs underneath our little uniform going to school.
Mhm.
And I
Couldn't
can't
have been
remember
so
what I was
bad.
whipped for.
I remember what I got every single one for.
Do you? We got to tell some whooping stories. Thank you, Venora. We got to tell some whooping stories. Why we got whoopings?
Yeah.
Thank you. I think Jan Jawara, you showed up. You ready? And then we'll have Irma, and then we'll have Carla.
Oh, I'm not telling.
No?
No, I'm not telling.
Irma? Storytelling Irma, you want to share?
Yeah, I have a story. It's a story in process too. It just grabbed me, and I want to tell it as a teaching story when we have our classes. And it's by Margaret. I'll read part of it and tell part of it. And what I'm trying to do is find the voice of the little old lady, so maybe you can help me in the story. It's by Margaret Mead McDonald. Okay, it's called The Little Old Woman Who Lived in a Vinegar Bottle. There once was a little old woman who lived in a vinegar bottle. It was a big vinegar bottle, but it was still crowded, and she didn't like living there so much. I don't know how she got into that vinegar bottle, but that's where she lived. Every day, the old woman sat outside and on her front. She said, "Oh, honey, what bitty pity that I should live in this vinegar bottle. Well, I had a nice little cottage with a fat roof and roses and ivy running up the side. Oh, what a pity, pity, pity. Roses should be growing on the walls." This is she man. Fairies were
Your
popular
audio,
in the
maybe anyone can suggest.
Once I get finished.
No, the audio isn't coming through clear. It's staggering.
Oh, I don't know what to do?
I don't know. Maybe someone can
everybody
suggest what she
muted?
can do. Just raise your hand.
I had Just raise your hand.
Because I couldn't
can
hear
say
the
for now.
story. It wasn't as clear as Venora telling.
Yeah, Venora's real clear. So it must be something with my laptop, maybe.
Are you on your laptop? Okay.
Yeah. So I've got my audio on, I got myself unmuted, and I don't know what else.
Does everybody else hear what I'm hearing? It's staggered.
It's staggered.
And words were missing.
Mm. Well, I'll save mine for next time then.
No, go ahead. I want to hear about the lady in the vinegar jar.
But if you can't hear it,
well, I'm gonna
okay.
Mute myself and
Mute everybody. All right. Okay, so can you can hear me now? All right. I'm going to go on and you can jump in if it's too bad. Well, a fairy happened to be going by because in those days the fairies were plentiful and they would go by and check on neighborhoods and everything. So the fairy was going by when she heard the old woman talking about what a pity it was, and well, if that's what she wants, that's what she's going to get. I'll give her a house that she wants. And going up, she went up to the little old lady and she said, when you go to bed tonight, I want you to turn around 3 times before you go to bed. And you close your eyes and open them in the morning and you'll see what you can see. Well, the old woman, she did as the fairy said. And she turned around 3 times and went to bed that night and closed her eyes, did everything. And when she woke up, she was in that little cottage. Her vinegar bottle had turned to a cottage with a thatched roof and ivy running up the side. She said, "Oh, I should be so content to live in this house. I must always, this is what I've always wanted," she said. "I will be so content." Well, the fairy went north, and the fairy went south, and the fairy went east, and the fairy went west, and did all the business that she had to do. Then she said, "I'm going to check on that little old woman and see how she's doing with her new cottage." But when the fairy came near, the old lady was sitting on her porch and she was whining again. "Oh, what a pity, pity, pity. What a pity, pity, pity that I should have to live in a cramped little cottage like this. Well, I should be living in a fine house with handsome houses on either side and lace curtains at the windows and brass knockers at the door. I can do that," thought the fairy. "If that's what she wants, then that's what she'll get." So she told the old woman, she went to her again and said, "Okay, if you want that, this is what you do tonight. You turn around 3 times and you close your eyes, and when you open them in the morning, see what you shall see." Well, the old woman didn't have to be told twice. She went right to bed right then. It wasn't even sun, wasn't even down. She turned around 3 times, closed her eyes, and in the morning, when she opened her eyes, she had a spanking new house, a row house. That's what she wanted, so she can have neighbors on each side, lace curtains in the window, and a brass knocker on the door. "It's just what I've always wanted. I'll be so content to live in this house. I will live in this house forever." But she never said a word of thanks to the fairy. Now, she ain't got 2 houses and she didn't say thank you once. I don't know about that old woman. Well, the fairy went north, the fairy went south, the fairy went east, the fairy went west, and did all the business that she had to do. Then she thought about the little old lady. She said, "I should go and see how she's doing in her new row house." But when she came close to the house, the woman was sitting in her shiny new rocking chair, rocking and complaining. Oh, what a pity! What a pity, pity, pity that I should live in a row house like this, with common folks on either side. I should live in a mansion up on the hill with maid servants and manservants to do my bidding. I deserve better than this. I deserve better than this. Well, the fairy heard her, and the fairy said, well, I can do that. And she told the old lady, well, when you go to bed tonight, how many times you going to turn around? 3. Turn around 3 times. Close your eyes, go to bed, and you shall see what you shall see in the morning. So the old woman, she hopped in the bed, but she was glad to go to bed. She turned around 3 times, closed her eyes, and in the morning, when she opened her eyes again, she was in a mansion. I mean, she had a mansion on the hill with maidservants and manservants to do her bidding. She said, oh, this is just what I wanted. I wanted this all my life, the old woman said. How content I will be here. But it never occurred to her, even now with 3 different houses, she didn't say thank you once. Well, where'd the fairy go? North and south and east and west, and she did all the business that she had to do. Then she remembered the old woman. I wonder how that old woman is getting along now. She got a nice mansion up on the hill. She must be quite happy. But when she came there, she saw the old woman sitting on her velvet chair, complaining. Oh, what a pity, pity! What a pity, pity, pity! That I should live all alone in this old mansion. Well, I should be the queen. Yeah, that's what I should be. I should be living in the palace with ladies in waiting and musicians to entertain me. That's what I deserve. I should be queen, queen mother. Good heavens, thought the fairy. Will she ever be content? Well, if that's what you want, then that's what you'll get, said the fairy. So the fairy said to her, when you go to bed tonight, you turn around 3 times, close your eyes, jump in the bed, and in the morning you'll see what you should see. Well, the old woman hurried to bed that night, turned around 3 times. Am I still? Turned around 3 times, closed her eyes, and went to bed. When this when she when old woman when she woke up, she said, "This is what I've always wanted." She said, "I've got the ladies in waiting, and I am the queen. Oh, this is what I've always wanted." Well, the fairy went north, and the fairy went south, the fairy went east, the fairy went west. She did the business that she had to do. Well, she stopped at the palace to see what the old lady was doing. And there sat the old woman on her throne. She said she would be content. But don't you know, she had the nerve to still be complaining. Oh, what a pity, pity, pity. Oh, I should be queen of such a tiny little kingdom. Well, I should be the Pope in Rome. The Pope rules the Holy Roman Empire. There I could rule the minds of everybody in the world. That's what I deserve. Come on now, I'm important. Well, said the fairy, if that's what you want, then that's what you'll get. And so the old woman, she said to her, when you go to bed, turn around 3 times, close your eyes, and in the morning you shall see what you shall see. The old woman went right to bed, turned around 3 times, closed her eyes, and in the morning, when she opened them, guess what? She was right back in that old Bragg vinegar bottle, apple cider vinegar. The smell was still there. And there she shall stay, said the fairy. If she's not content here, she won't be content anywhere. After all, contentment comes from the heart, not from the house. And that's my story.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah.
Could you hear any of it?
That's a little
Yeah.
better.
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much
I
better.
like to tell that story to children because then they'll go along with me about the fairy went north and the fairy went west, and you know they can tell parts of it. Don't be greedy. Be thankful. Be happy with what you have. And I think during this time of COVID, it's really been a time to kind of remember what you really have and appreciate it. You know, there are some people in hospitals sick and dying, and we're home and we're eating and we're telling stories and we have friends. We may not live in a water bottle, but we can be happy just where we are because contentment doesn't come from what you have, it comes from the heart. And that's the message. What do you think? Give me feedback. You like it? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice.
You like that? This story just gets me. I know there's a lot of stories like that, you know, where people want something to get it and then they're not happy.
Right.
I grew up in a row
I grew
home,
up in a
so
row home, so
I was very happy.
I was very happy.
And you didn't wish for nothing else, right?
And I got everything.
And I got everything.
Right.
More than I ever imagined.
More than I ever imagined.
Sure.
I like that story.
I like that story.
You like
But
it?
I want to tell Wanda's story. Wanda, I want to tell your story. I'm just
Wanda,
getting it. I'm kind of slow.
I'm just getting it. I'm kind of slow.
Yeah.
So next up, thank you, Storytelling Irma.
Thank you, Storytelling Irma.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Sign language applause.
Sign language applause.
Next, we're gonna hear from Mama Carla Wiley,
Carla Wiley,
she always got good stories.
whose voice I wish I could steal.
whose voice I wish I could steal.
Oh. Hello, everybody. The story that I'm going to tell is actually the script for a children's book that I'm writing. It's called The Music House. No matter where you go, there's always that one house on that one street where music comes out of it night and day. Now, when I was raising my children, it was the Sanborn's house, right at the end of the block. Now, the sweet sounds, they would fill the air every day, and it would start first thing in the morning. On school days, we'd hear, "Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed." Or every once in a while, we'd hear, "Monday, Monday, can't trust that day." And it would coax those 5 children from their slumber. There was Ty, Mina, Brenda, Grayson, and baby Essie. And they would wipe the sleep from their eyes and get washed up for breakfast. Now, while they were getting dressed, we'd always hear the Jackson 5 singing, ABC, easy as 1, 2, 3. And the children would all join in and sing. Sometimes they would argue over the radio station. Some would want to hear R&B while others would want to hear rock and roll. But usually their mother would choose. After that, after she sent them older children off to school, and she went, phew, you would hear her gospel albums playing. You would hear, "Storm is passing over, the storm is passing over." Or you'd hear, "How Great Thou Art." And that kept her company as she washed the dishes while she made breakfast for her husband of red-eyed gravy and coffee with some biscuits on the side. Sometimes she'd sing along with Mahalia Jackson or the Love Alive Orchestra. And little Essie, she would bang out the rhythm on her high chair tray. Mr. Sanborn would come in and he'd listen to B.B. King and Fats Waller. as he ate a quick breakfast and took a shower. At last, falling to a hard sleep with the raspy notes of Billie Holiday or a scat of Louis Armstrong. Little Essie, she was soothed to nap time by Jeffrey Osborne. On the wings of love. Or the Doobie Brothers. I keep looking, we're not in love anymore. The rest of the afternoons welcomed big band standards while Mrs. Sanborn did her mundane chores, humming along. The older children would return from home, usually ushered in by instrument practice. Ty, he played sax, while his sister Mina practiced the clarinet. After they did all the standard finger exercises, they put on some
I want
Kenny
you to
G
go up Jefferson and go
or
over.
any other popular tune, and they would just play it for fun. Brenda practiced her cello or violin in the tiny basement room, while Grayson, he was regulated to the garage because it was soundproof, because he had drums, and he would bang out the sound every once in a while, opening the windows so the rest of us could hear it. And each child had an hour of practice, but it always went over to 2 hours. Now, homework time was supposed to be quiet time, but it was often filled with the hum of Stevie Wonder or Gladys Knight and the Pips. And at night, every night, you would hear the whole family sing All the Pretty Little Ponies, Down in the Valley, or Return to Pooh Corner for little Essie so she could drift off to sleep. The last music of the day was usually orchestra music, playing quietly as the conversation between husband and wife as he prepared for a night of working or snuggling in bed when it was the weekends. Yes, every neighborhood has or should have a house where music tells the time of day. My wish for you is that you either live near a house or in a house that sounds just like that. It can change the whole rhythm of your life. So what did you guys think? You like?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good story. Good
You
story.
still have some little work to do on it, except for the illustrator.
Mm-hmm.
Going down styles.
Mm-hmm.
It was very good.
Yeah.
I love the music. The music fit.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have to find a Fats Waller tune for that film.
Ain't misbehaving.
My middle name. Well, not out loud anyway.
The first street on the right.
The third street on the left. Oh, wow.
Styles. Here it
But if
is.
you guys have any suggestions, let me know, okay? Before I type out the next part.
Make a right here.
I'm thinking, is there any kind of way that you could have like a tape that goes with it, the music?
You know what? I thought about that. I did, but I had to get permission for all the songs.
Yeah,
What-
that would be fun.
In telling it, you can just sing the song. And you don't need permission really unless you're going to record it.
True.
I wrote a story about Chicken Bone Beach in New Jersey.
Yeah.
But every black community has a Chicken Bone Beach, I was told. They're in Virginia, they're in Delaware. You know, it's all when doing segregation, all the black communities had Chicken Bone Beaches. But I wrote about New Jersey, and I opened with Under the Boardwalk. You know, so and everybody sang it. As soon as I came out with it, everybody sang it. And all those songs that are in your story, we all knew them.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And
Yes.
that's the beauty of you putting that music. I love the story. I love that you put the music that we're all familiar with. And trust me, when you tell it, people are going to sing along with you because that brings them into the story as well. And I just love your voice, Carla. You know that. I wish my voice. I'm gonna have to try to be more dainty and soft.
Girl, please. I like the way you sing, Oni.
No, I gotta. You like the way I what?
I like the way you sing, sister.
Oh, get out here.
I
Yeah,
do.
when I'm Harriet Tubman, right?
Well, hey, when I'm Harriet, I sing too.
Oh, anybody else could talk? Everybody's unmuted. Everybody's unmuted, right?
Everybody's unmuted, right?
Now I am.
Now
Sorry.
everybody is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I enjoy the story.
Oh, my pictures. I gotta get. Remember that from Jamaica. Remember,
I did want to tell
Huh?
everybody to come and to Tea and Stories at 3:00
Yeah.
every day
I
on Facebook.
Indeed.
Everybody say hi to George.
Hi, George. We see you. We see you, brother. Trying to sneak
tell
out.
my
We
brother I
see
said hi.
So my brother said hi.
Oni said hi, honey bunny.
you.
Um,
Um,
Oh, there he goes back.
anybody else?
anybody else?
You know what? I wanted to say something, a little short story, but I wanted to tie it into with Carla. You posted something today that I didn't really have a chance to read, but you were like fed up with something that happened out there because of the COVID. Can you share that with us?
Um, I have a brother friend who is really big in the cultural scene in Philadelphia, and he and I went back and forth today because he had a real sarcastic post about people who were wearing masks. He's very anti-mask, and he was saying people are walking 6 feet in front of you, and you're still wearing a mask, and you're outside, like really being like condemning those who were still wearing a mask. And I said to him, I said, brother, I have much respect for you, but I didn't think that was cool at all. I said, there's a lot of reasons why people are wearing masks. They're doing it to protect themselves. They may be sick and they don't want to get anybody else sick, but they have to go outside. And having been somebody who's had to bury children who were immune compromised and got sick and passed, I really think that you should be more sensitive, especially since so many people look up to you. And then to put something like that was, acting like the people are being stupid. Nobody's being stupid. If you don't agree, that's fine. But let other people live. They weren't bothering you by walking outside with a mask on. And he told, his whole thing was that he said, I was just asking a question. And he said, and besides, people need to breathe air. They don't need to walk around with masks on all the time. It's stupid. They're not paying attention and not listening to experts. They're just walking around with masks on. And we went back and forth for a while. Normally, I don't go back and forth with people on Facebook when they're being like that. But it just touched a nerve with me because I said, come on. This is a time when we should be being kind and loving and respectful of each other and not mean and hateful. And, if you don't agree with somebody, okay, cool. But if they're not bothering you, why are you bothering them? And why would you even say something like that when people look up to you? But I felt upset with myself because I lost my temper with him. And I allowed myself to go back and forth with him so my crown was a little crooked. And I asked my friends who pray with me on Facebook to talk. I need words of wisdom from my sisters and my brothers. And they did. They helped me. And we do that for each other all the time. They helped me straighten my crown. So now my crown is straight again. So now my crown is straight. But I felt bad about that.
Hmm.
How you doing?
Well, there's going to be a lot of discussion, arguments about this wearing of masks and when it's a good time to open. I'll share a brief story. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Jet Black.
Hi, darling.
This,
Hi.
Hi.
that's Miss Jet Black. She's our vocalist.
Glad to see you,
She's
Jack.
also one of my longtime
Good
moms queens. I learned a lesson today, and then maybe we can close with a song from Deborah. Is that okay, Jet Black?
Wow. Let's see here. Let me see if you can hear. Let me see if you can hear the music.
We
first.
cannot hear the music.
We cannot hear music.
No, we can't. You
Don't
have to
worry
sing a
about it.
cappella. What did you say, Wanda?
I said, let her try it and see.
Okay.
Everyone else would have to be muted, though.
Okay, I will.
I'm muted. Mute me. I'm not.
All right. So have to do a cappella. Okay.
You don't. You can try the music. Wanda suggested that you try and see if we can hear the music.
Okay. Let me see. Two.
This is a collective. What everyone says goes.
Whatever.
I'm just the engineer, and who's laughing like that? Singer.
Let's see here. Let's see if there's any music.
We don't hear it. Are you playing music? Jet Black, are you playing music? Well, once upon a time, there was a girl named Jet Black trying to hook up her music because she got it like that. Come on, girl. Come on. I don't hear the music. You turn your mic off. I don't hear you now. We don't. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Huh?
Why don't you tell your story while I was getting ready?
I can't hear you, Deborah. It's a
I
delay.
can't see her.
So you're going to have to sing a cappella.
Yes.
because we're having an issue.
We're having an
You know,
issue.
thousands of millions of people are doing this
Millions of
tonight.
people are doing this tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you know,
So
technical
it's,
problems with the Zoom.
technical problem with the Zoom.
You were still not able to hear me, right?
No.
Now I did this the other night.
What'd you do different?
Let's see here. Same as system. Automatic.
Why don't you sing? We can hear your voice.
We can hear your voice.
Could you hear me before? No. Okay.
No.
All right.
Come on. Come listen to my story about a man named Jed. Poor mountaineer better kept his family fed. Then one day he was rooting at some gruel, and up through the ground came a bubbling brew. Can you hear me?
Oil, that is.
Black gold.
Okay.
Someone got to finish the rest. Until Debbie's ready. Let us know, Debbie. The
Why'd
next
you
thing
go
you
in the
know,
Wayback Machine?
Yeah, finish it.
the next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire.
Somebody finish it.
Then folks said, gotta move away from there.
Say
California
California.
is the place you ought to be.
So we loaded up
And he moved to Beverly
Hills, that
that
is.
is. Swimming pools.
Movie
Movie
star.
star. Y'all know the Fresh Prince? Come listen to the story. Huh? Y'all don't know Fresh Prince theme?
I don't know the whole thing.
Okay.
Oh, we
Green
did.
Acres is the place to be.
Sorry.
Farm living is the life for me. Land.
Spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
New York is where I'd rather stay.
Oh my goodness.
I could see Oni playing that part.
I get allergic smelling hay. I just adore the penthouse view.
Darling, I love it.
Honey, I love you, but give me Park Avenue. Oh, thank you, Wanda. Thank you, Wanda. You ready? Jet Black? We're messing with you.
All right.
You ready?
All
right.
We love your beautiful voice.
You ready?
Yeah.
Come on, Jack. We love acapella. She doesn't like to be defeated.
What have you done today in his name? 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 Did you feed someone who was hungry? Did you comfort someone who was crying? Did you visit someone who was lonely? Did you praise in his name only? Did you help someone who was helpless? Did you love someone who was loveless? Did you comfort someone who had no home? Did you praise in his name alone? What have you done today in his name? 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 Did you feed someone who was hungry? Did you comfort someone who was crying? Did you visit someone who was lonely? Did you praise in his name only? Did you help someone who was helpless? Did you help someone who was loveless? Did you help someone who was lonely? Did you praise in his name only? Ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, da-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-ba-da, da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Beep bop boo da 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 ba da 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 da. Sing it now. What have you done today in his name? What have you done today in his name? Papa, Papa, what have you done today in his name? What have you done today in his name? Did you praise him? Praise him. Did you praise him? Praise only 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 him. Oh, I wish you all could hear the music. I wish
No,
Oh, I liked it. I like the scat, and that was very creative.
music. Oh, boy. If you have any streaming apps at all, Spotify or iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, you can look up Jet Black and What Have You Done, and you can hear the music to that. I just visited a friend who came home from brain surgery, and it's just one of those things. It's very prevalent these days where you hear of so many people who are suffering from tumors in the brain.
Yeah.
You know Nate. Nate suffered from that. My neighbor that I just finished visiting suffered from that. My daughter's boss also suffers from the brain tumors. And
Brain tumor.
that particular song that I wrote, What Have You Done? It just brings out the humanity. Like the young lady was just talking about, respect and humanity. You can't do it from afar. Like, okay, what have you done? Did you feed someone who was hungry? There have been people that have come up begging for money, but instead of me giving them the money, I'll tell them, come with me and I'll feed you. I'll take you to a restaurant. I have done that. Take you to a restaurant. I will buy a meal for you. I will feed. They're lonely. Um, Even these Zoom sessions with the culture, the cultures of the keepers of this with the storytellers. This is extremely
with
comforting.
us,
Yes,
with keepers of the
extremely
culture.
comforting. Extremely comforting. If only more people could do what you do, um, this would be the epidemic, not a virus, not violence, which is an epidemic, not any of that. This is what we need to be the global pandemic, not any of that other evilness that's going on. So I commend you, ladies, you queens. Thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of, uh, of this that we're doing with the KOTC. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Debbie.
you,
We
Deb.
love you.
Oh,
We love you, Jet Black.
I love you. I love you.
I love you.
I love you, Jet Black.
I love you. I love you.
And we're keepers of the culture, but do you notice that it's mostly women?
Now there were more men last time. Not
I
I
know,
wasn't
but
on.
it seems like even in the storytelling groups and organizations, the women are always the strongest uh, foundation to a lot of
Yes.
these organizations.
Yes.
And it's because we are the ones who first tell the stories to our children,
Yes.
I believe.
Yes. Absolutely.
And we're the first voice our children to hear when they're born.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's just so nice to hear that song from you. We're going to close up a little bit. I have a very short story I'd like to share. And I'm a type of storyteller that likes to tell short stories because I can't remember the long ones.
It
All
happens.
those stories about, you know, then he did this and he went there and he went there and he ran into this one and that one. The only story the only story that I have put to memory and I like telling is a Nazi and his 7 sons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know that story. River drinker, stone thrower, sea trouble. So I have been able to do that story, and I was able to do it in Tobago with the children at a little school, a little private school, and little Miss Marcy's prep school, which is children from first grades all the way up to primary. Primary, they call it primary down there, all the way up to almost like high school, and I had a fun time. Now, this is a little short story I like, and it's easy to find. It's in 99 Stories for Inspiration. And it's a story about 3 little fishes that lived in a pond. And they were swimming around in the pond on a bright, sunny day. And the name of the first fish was Plan Ahead. The name of the second fish was Think Fast. And the name of the third fish was Wait and See. So as they were swimming around together in the little pond on that bright sunny day, suddenly it got dark. And they looked up and they saw 2 men looking down into the pond. And one man said to the other man, "Ooh, look at those fish in there. I think we should come back tomorrow and bring our net and we're going to catch some fish." And they walked away and the sun came shining back out. And the first fish, Plan Ahead, he said to his other 2 friends, He said, I don't know about y'all, but I'm swimming upstream tonight. And so he did. The next day, oh no, not the next day. Didn't think fast, said, I don't know, I'm going to think of something fast. I'm not going to worry about that. I'll wait till the time comes. And wait and see. He said, yeah, I'll just wait and see what happens myself. You know, I'm not going to worry about them coming. So the next day, the two men came in the morning and they cast their net into the pond. Plan ahead, he was already gone. And when they cast their net into the pond, they drew their net out and put it into their boat. And think fast, he just turned over and he played dead. And the fisherman said, look at that one there. He's dead. And he picked up the Think Fast and threw him back in the pond. And Think Fast swam away. What do you think happened to Wait and See? He ended up on somebody's fish plate for a nice fish fry down there in Louisiana. That's what happened to Wait and See. So in times of trouble, when the net is cast, you better plan ahead or plan to think fast. That's an easy one, right? Hold on.
Yeah,
That
that's
was awesome. I like that.
That's a good
a
one.
good story.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
Did you know it, Venora? Did you know the story?
No,
I saw you shaking your head. I thought you knew it.
no, but I've heard some similar, but it's not that story.
That's a good Cajun tale to tell. A Creole tale.
For sure.
So the first fish is plan ahead. The second is think fast. And the third is wait and see.
Wait and see.
So that's 99 stories for inspiration. And I'll have one at the end of our sessions, another one for you to retell
Okay, I like that.
next week.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Nzinga.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you. Sorry I was coming back to
All
my
right. Bye-bye.
blessings.
Everybody,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Be safe.
Have a great
Take
week.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you, Venora, for joining us. Your
Yes,
story.
thank
It
you.
was
Certainly,
wonderful.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
We
ladies,
hope
for
to
your
see you
story.
next week.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye,
Deb.
everybody.
Jet Black.
Thank you.
Cool
Bye-bye.
Mara,
Thank
I love
you.
you.
I love you too. I love my people.
I
I
love my
love my
people.
people.
Come on.
I love my people.
People.
I
My
love my
I
people.
love
people.
I love my people.
I love my
Love my
people.
people.
Again, I love my
Love my
people.
people.
Oba, call his name.
Oh
Tomorrow
God.
we have our meeting at 2 o'clock. Keepers of the Culture, we meet tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Don't forget, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we meet for our general meeting. You're welcome to attend. If you're interested in being a part of our organization, we welcome everyone. Who's support of our mission, we're at kotcinc.org.
We had a meeting last week.
That meeting was for Love Night.
Oh.
We like each other. We like to meet each other, right, Irma?
Right. I love my people.
No, this is our monthly meeting on Saturday.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Got it.
And we need it. Debbie, you're welcome to come. Jet Black. Tomorrow, too.
It's tomorrow.
You're welcome to join us for Nora.
I'm an overload.
Yeah, okay. I know. I'm so glad you took the time tonight to join us, really. Because a lot of us are on Zoom overload.
right. Good night, everybody.
Good
Night,
night.
nice to see
Down
you,
there,
Mama.
Louisiana.
Hey, hey, hey.
And in Alabama. All right. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Yes,
Peace and love. Love you. Love
All
you.
right. Love everyone. Peace.
peace, love, and power.
Hey, you good? Everybody's good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's good.
Irma, you know I love you. Nzinga, Deborah, Jeblan.